Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a single, simple idea from the world of pure logic. An idea that seems so perfect, it looked like it could unify all of mathematics, but as it turns out, it was also so dangerous that it nearly brought the entire system crashing down.
So, let's take a trip back in time to a moment when mathematics faced a genuine, full-blown crisis. This all kicked off with a paradox so deep, so unsettling, that it didn't just mess with a few equations. No, it threatened to change our very understanding of what truth even means.
Okay, here's how we're going to break this down. We'll follow the story through 5 key parts, starting with a really beautiful and powerful idea, then moving to the shocking discovery of a flaw, and finally exploring how mathematics managed to rebuild itself, even stronger than before.
So where does it all begin? Well, it starts with a concept that's so intuitive you use it every single day without even thinking about it. The simple idea of a set.
I mean, think about it. We group things all the time. Right? You've got a set of keys, a collection of your favorite songs, the set of all whole numbers. Philosophers and mathematicians have a fancy word for this, a universal. And it's an incredibly powerful tool because it lets us take a whole bunch of different things and talk about them as one single unified entity.
So, back in the early days of exploring these sets, the main rule of the game was wonderfully straightforward. In fact, it was completely unrestricted. It was a really optimistic time.
In this era, the guiding principle, which was championed by the mathematician George Cantor, was just beautiful in its simplicity. It was basically, if you can describe a property, you can make a set out of it. The set of all red cars, the set of all numbers bigger than 10, you name it, it's a set. Anything was fair game. And this simple, elegant rule, well, it seemed to open up this amazing new paradise of mathematical possibilities. But of course, hidden inside that paradise was a time bomb.
The trouble really started when logicians decided to turn this incredibly simple and powerful rule back on itself.
Okay, to really get a handle on the problem, let's use the famous Barber Paradox. It perfectly mirrors the bombshell that the philosopher Bertrand Russell discovered. The logic just ties itself in an impossible knot. Think about it. If the barber shaves himself, he breaks his own rule, because he's only supposed to shave guys who don't shave themselves. But if he doesn't shave himself, then the rule says he has to be shaved by the barber, who, is him. It's a total loop.
Now this is where we translate that Barber problem into pure cold logic. This is Russell's paradox. We just follow that simple, naive rule to create a new set, the set of all sets that don't contain themselves. Seems fine, right? But then we ask the most basic question imaginable. Is this set a member of itself? And that's when logic just shatters. Both yes and no lead to a direct, unavoidable contradiction. There's no way out.
And listen, this wasn't just some clever brain teaser you'd see online. For mathematicians and logicians at the time, this was a 5-alarm fire. This was a severe crisis that struck right at the very heart of reason itself.
Now you might be asking, why was this so terrifying? Well, here's why. A system of logic that can prove something is both true and not true at the same time is completely, totally useless. It means you can prove that 1 + 1 is 3, that cats are dogs, anything goes. The entire structure of proof and certainty just collapses into complete nonsense.
And the crisis went even deeper than just symbols on a page. It became a problem of existence, what philosophers call an ontological problem. It forced everyone to ask this terrifying question. Just because we can describe something with words, does that mean it can logically exist? And with this crazy paradoxical set, the answer came back as a hard, undeniable no.
So, how did mathematics come back from this? How in the world did it move forward from a problem that seemed to break the fundamental rules of reason?
Well, the paradox basically triggered a massive philosophical shift. That old freewheeling, anything-goes classical approach, clearly, it was too dangerous. So a new school of thought called intuitionism started to get a lot of attention. It argued for a much more careful, cautious way of doing things, saying we can only accept the existence of mathematical objects that we can actually construct and justify step by step.
And this is a great look at the practical response. To stop this from ever happening again, logicians developed totally new frameworks. Axiomatic Set Theory, for instance, created a strict list of rules, axioms, that acted like guards at the gate, policing which sets were allowed to exist and basically banning the paradoxical one. But other thinkers took an even stranger route, developing what are called paraconsistent logics. These are radical new systems designed to actually absorb a contradiction and just carry on, preventing one paradox from blowing up the whole system.
So when you get right down to it, Russell's paradox didn't actually destroy mathematics, it saved it. It forced the entire field to take a hard look at its own foundations, and in the process, it became way more rigorous and self-aware. The naive paradise of early set theory might have been lost, but the logical structure they built in its place was so much stronger.
And this whole story leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought. It's a powerful reminder that even in the purest world of abstract reason, there are boundaries. Some perfectly logical questions can lead us right to the very edge of understanding, forcing us to face the profound and pretty humbling limits of knowledge itself.